Hey there, Ride the Car Guy here, and today let me tell you how I royally f***ed up. So recently I was dropping the engine into the Titan, and when I did have the engine out, I took out the torque converter. When I put the torque converter back in to install the engine, I put it in wrong. I know a lot of things about vehicles. One thing I am very unfamiliar with is automatic transmissions. I did not know there was a fancy way to put on a torque converter, and I simply did it wrong. So it was protruding too far out. I installed the engine, I cinched down the transmission to the engine, and it seized up my crank. So I can't turn it, and obviously I can't get the torque converter to marry up with the drive plate, and I simply can't get it installed. Now that left me with two options. I could take the engine back out, which the idea of that simply makes me want to cry, or I can drop the transmission. Now I had planned to take out my transmission. It's leaking in a couple places and I want to clean it up and, maybe paint it, I don't know. But I wanted to do a few things, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that, since some of the prep work to take out the engine is the same as the prep work for taking out the transmission. Now I want to apologize in advance. This video is going to be a little jumbled because a lot of the work that I did was 3-4 months ago. So it's already on camera, it's already done. So I'm going to go grab some of those clips, bring them in to show you the whole process of removing the transmission, as opposed to having you jump around and get info from different videos. Let's do it. My exhaust manifolds are already off, so we're just going to get the rest of the exhaust out of the way. We're going to disconnect it at the tailpipe. So we're going to remove the muffler and everything leading up to it. There is an oxygen sensor, I think on both sides we need to remove. There's a grounding strap on the other side, and then disconnect the rear of the muffler, and then we can pull it all out. I'm going to disconnect the electronic side of the O2 sensors. That's just a lot easier for me. And then the O2 sensors can just come out with the exhaust. We're going to end up removing all of these clips, but I'm going to pull this one off right here to make my life a little bit easier, give myself some more space. Awesome. And then this, hopefully we can get removed with our little pliers here. All right, cool. I'm just going to break it instead. That's awesome. This is 10 millimeter. So I'm going to grab a 10 millimeter. And remove this bracket, see if I can get it to, both of those are out. This should come down. Yeah, now we have a lot of access to it. Now, see if I can break this even more, yeah? There we go. Jesus H Christ. So we got that disconnected. Hopefully you saw that. You just gotta push on the back of this. This is broken, but frankly, I don't give a damn. You just push on the back, pull it out. Just standard clip, honestly. Now, if we pull this aside, there we go. That one's clear. The other side better be easier than this. This one, hopefully you can see here. Same concept. You just push down on this and pull. There we go. All right, well, in removing those oxygen sensors, I broke the clips. I broke both clips in different ways. So awesome. The one over here, I kind of just shattered into pieces. I think it will clip back together without issue. Just some of the outside casing broke off. The other one, I ripped one of the wires out, which is super great. So not sure what I'm gonna do about that, considering it's part of the main harness, but awesome. So next up, we're just gonna take the exhaust out. I made sure that there's nothing else connected, and there's just two 14 millimeter nuts on the behind the muffler. I'm gonna pop those off, and then slide the whole thing back. That would be the idea. We'll have to take a look at the mount and make sure that, you might have to push it forward and then back. We'll just take a look, but we'll see when we do it. All right, let's go. That went well. With that loose, our whole tailpipe is gonna come out. It looks like the whole thing is mounted on this here. So we need to push the whole thing forward. When we do, it will likely fall, which is fine. Once it comes off of this mount, we should be able to slide it all the way back. Let's see what happens, shall we? Feels like the muffler might have one too. Yeah, the muffler has one too. So let's slide the muffler off first. Let me show you that picture of that real quick. that one there as well is above the muffler. I figured there wouldn't, it kind of seemed odd that there wouldn't be one for that long of a distance. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like the muffler has to come off first because it's the shorter distance, and then the other one. So let's do that. There we go. That one is, oh, hold on. Is that out yet? It's close. So they didn't make it so you could slide it out real great. So what we're gonna need to do is just pull the bolts off of this mount, and then the whole thing will drop. There it goes. All right. Now, we should be able to slide the muffler the rest of the way off. Technically behind the scenes here. There we go. Now, I'm gonna get out from under it and set it down, and then we'll show you sliding it out. All right, guys, I want to scream. I didn't account for the fact that this pipe turns up, so I got to disconnect it right here as well. Let's get the muffler back in so it's safe. There. All right, so I have my recovery socket. See if I can get this to bite. Looks like it's on there. Come on, guys. All right, let me deal with this and I'll get back with you. Now I said it before, and I'll say it again. There's two things that I just hate working on vehicles. One is suspension, and the other one, exhaust. The damn bolts always have issues. My Xterra was a Florida car its entire life, not a spot of rust, and the exhaust was still a bloody nightmare to work on. So the Titan is turning out to be no exception. Now with this off, I'm actually, get the out here. There we go, piece of shit. Okay, that is ridiculous. Look at the size of this muffler. In fact, you know, this has me thinking. I have a car that I bought recently, and we put mufflers on it that were kind of annoying because it's a wagon, and so it's real loud on the inside. And we swapped them out for stock mufflers, and I have those mufflers sitting around. I think I might have them create a dual exhaust out of this. I think that'd be a really cool project. But anyways, regardless, this is out of the way. So what else do we need to do? Need to get the drive shafts out. Once those two are out, we have the connections, so the electrical connections, and then the cross member, and the gear linkages. Okay, yeah, there's still a lot left. All right, let's keep going.
All right, for this, we have that design where you have to push forward on the green and then pull back. So let's do that. There we go. So that's off. And then we pull our sensor out with a 10 millimeter. And then we just very gently manipulate this out. Come on now. It's really giving me hell here. I'm gonna go get a flathead. All right, just grabbing a little flathead here, kind of wedging it underneath. There it goes. Just had a really tight O-ring. And of course, a bunch of crap in it. There's our sensor. All right, be very, very careful with this. Set it aside somewhere safe, and then we're gonna keep moving forward. I'm also gonna put that little bolt back in that was retaining it. So one less thing to organize, right? Throw that in there. We're good to go. As you can see right through the wheel well, we have the little tube we need to remove. It has, I think, two. Yeah, it looks like two, probably 10 millimeter bolts holding it in. And I'm just gonna grab a little wire brush, clean up around it. And I also have a plug. So when we pull it off, we can plug it and make sure that no, schmutz gets in there when it's exposed. So I grabbed a variety of 10 millimeter stuff, ratcheting wrench, and regular wrench. I don't know what we're gonna need. And that's it. Let's go down there and remove it. Surprisingly, it looks pretty clean. So on the front, I can get a ratcheting wrench. Awesome. This one, let's see if I can get a regular wrench. All right, I got a little socket on there. Hopefully you can spin this back here. There it goes. Woohoo! Excellent. There we go. So we're going to carefully lift this off, pull it to the side, and then I'm going to get that plug and plug it. All right, here's our little access plate. And we just got to get our 10 millimeter socket. And I'm going to get out from under it because I know it's going to drop garbage on me. Awesome. Pull that off. All right, let's see if we can pull this off here. There we go. Yeehaw. And I see one of them right now, which is nice. And there's 4 of them we need to remove. So I'm pretty sure, hopefully you can see that. There's one in there. So we're gonna remove that, and then we're gonna rotate the engine using the harmonic balancer bolt up front. We pull that out, and then we move on, pull out all 4, and then we just need to take our transmission bolts out. All right, to access the next bolt, we need to rotate the engine. And you always want to rotate in a clockwise position if you're looking at the front of the engine. And since I'm doing this alone, I'm using a feature of the GoPro, which is just live preview. And I'm looking underneath, and as I rotate it, here I'll show you. As I rotate it, you'll see that I have my eyes underneath the truck looking for me. And I'm just going to rotate this until I see the next bolt exposed. And there it is. Hopefully you can see that. The bolt is there. And so I'm going to go down, remove it, and then repeat this process 3 more times for a total of 4 bolts. I have all 4 bolts out now, and I'm going to confirm that they move independently, and I'm going to do that by looking at the bolt hole in my live preview. And you're going to see that the bolt hole will basically disappear. Watch. See that? And if I go back a little bit, you shouldn't really go back, but if you do, there you go. So you can see that the plate, the drive plate, is moving independently of the torque converter. So we have it disconnected. That's awesome. Now there is an order in which you're supposed to remove these, and it looks like this. What we're gonna do is we'll sort of follow that, all right? Because I need to remove a couple on the bottom, so maybe we'll start with 9 and go to like, I don't know, 6 or something. They're all should be 19 millimeter, and they all should just be really grand, really fun to remove. So I'm gonna use my impact as much as I can. So on the lower like 5, I'll use my impact, and then we'll use the breaker bar for the rest. So we have everything clear. You want to make sure you do one more pass. Just make sure there's absolutely nothing connecting the transmission to the actual truck. And of course I left my cross member in place. So what we're going to do is just grab our impact wrench, drop the supports on the cross member, of course making sure that we have the jack in place first, and then hopefully we'll kind of slowly drop it down. Now I actually have Jordan here today, and he's going to help me. So second set of hands will hopefully make this a lot smoother than, well, than the Xterra was. As far as jack placement, the automatic transmission for the Titan it's huge. So especially the 4-wheel drive, right? Because you have the little transfer case and everything attached. So what I'm going to do is use 2 jacks. I'm going to use my transmission jack near the front, and then I'm going to have Jordan running the standard jack in the rear, just to hold up the rear. I'm going to put the transmission jack in and the other jack, and then I'm going to drop the cross member and get that freed up, and then support the weight on the jacks. Once the cross member's out, we'll be able to hopefully simultaneously slide the both jacks with the transmission out and then drop it down. That's the plan. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Let's go place the jacks. I made a little change to my transmission jack since the last time I used it because it sucks and it needed improvement. So I made it a little bit wider. I added a couple 2x4s and just drilled them right into the face of it. Let me clear out some tools too. There we go. There's my transmission jack, and I am going to try to strap it. I know I didn't do that last time, which is probably another mistake I made, but whatever. Add it to the list. There we go. And I'm going to run this up. I'm just going to use my impact to run it up because I'm lazy. All right, now that it's touching, I'm going to run the strap all the way around it. It does have some breather hoses right around here, so I want to, of course, dodge those. If I can get all the way around, I will. We'll strap it down tight, grab the other jack, set it down here, and then pull off the, pull off the cross member like we talked about. All right, we're all strapped in. Let's grab the other jack, get that put in place. Now, the placement of this jack seems weird, but we're going to want to lower it and then pull it backward. So that's why I have it in this way. It'll be a little bit difficult to raise it, of course, because the gas tank's right here, but it'll make it easy to move it back and forth. All right, rear is supported, front is supported. I'm actually going to, this sounds goofy, but I'm going to turn my casters on my jack. I want everything to go as smoothly as possible. When this all starts to go down, literally, right? Literally go down. All right, there's that. Perfect. I have access to this. All right, I think we're good to go. Let's pull out these bolts.
Hey guys, so I'm currently editing this video, and I wanted to also mention that I took some of the existing bolts that we use to mount the engine to the engine stand, and I cut the heads off and made studs out of them. This is going to help you remove the transmission as well as mount it. So I just chose a couple places in the back of the engine to screw them in, and that way, the front of the transmission is supported and aligned when you're removing it and putting it back in. All right, back to removing the transmission.
What is it? Is it just bending it?
Now the torque converter, I think in my case, is caught against the rear of the engine. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly back the transmission back. I'm going to have Jordan control the rear jack. I'm going to control the front. And what I hope we see is it come off with the torque converter, and the torque converter isn't stuck on the back of the crank. So let's try to gently maneuver it back here. I think we actually need to drop it already some. So let me. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so go ahead and drop yours a little bit, please. All right, so we're still appear to be a little caught here, so I'm going to drop the front of mine a little bit. There we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, there it is.
There it goes. Okay. Now, are we hitting anything, or can we both go back?
We can both go back a little bit, and then you'll have about 1.5 inches to be safe before you start hitting this back part, whatever you called this, on
Okay.
the hoop.
There it goes. I'm watching the front. It's good.
Want to say a few words for the camera?
A few words for the camera.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, hold on.
So I never thought I would say this, but I feel like I should have took the motor out instead. Pulling transmissions out of these vehicles is such a massive pain in the ass, but having Jordan here made it so much easier, believe it or not. And what we're going to do now is we have it sitting on the ground on some pieces of wood. And just like I did on the Xterra, guys, I have to lift the front of the Titan, and then we just have to slide it out because the truck isn't tall enough, right? It's not going to clear the frame. So just a little bit on the front, and we should be able to slide the whole thing out.
Done. Drop it. Yep, you're good.
It's down all the way now, dude. Oh no, I gotta pull this thing out.
Think that should be enough. It'll be close. All right, ready?
There we go.
Oh, it just cleared. Let me transfer. We're doing like Egyptian style over here, dude.
This is how the pyramids were built.
Yes, dude. Ah, it's clear. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I've absolutely had enough. So now that it's out, I'm going to clean it up. I have to take the front cover off and see if I did any damage to the oil pump. And I did notice now that I have it out, it absolutely was out too far. I have some measurements that we'll talk about in the next video where you can actually push it in and you'll know when it's in all the way based on the measurements from the manual. So any comments, questions, suggestions, please put them down in the comments below. If you like this video, please scroll down, click that like button, subscribe for more content like this. And if this video saved you a lot of time or maybe some money, maybe send me a tip. Scroll down, click that thanks button to send me a super thanks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.